haven't seen nails that bad in 13 years. This dog will be dead in a small matter of time.
Unfortunately, the RSPCA has to rescue dogs from unimaginable cruelty. And this little lady, Florence, a 14-year-old poodle cross, perhaps has one of the most shocking stories. In July 2013, she was found by Inspector Tony Woodley.
She was a cruelty case dog, one of the worst cases I've ever seen.
Her fur was so badly matted and tangled she could barely walk.
If you just think about having your hands slowly being constricted at your wrists until your hands fall off.
The true extent of this poor little dog's injuries were only discovered in the operating theatre. As the veterinary surgeon was shaving away her incredibly matted coat, they made a devastating discovery. As they removed clumps of fur, with it came her 2 front paws. This happened because the fur had tightened so much that the blood supply had simply been cut off. They also discovered that months of abuse at the hands of her owners had led to her not only losing limbs, but her mouth was in such terrible condition and her teeth were causing her so much pain, they all had to go. At 14 years old, no one knew what type of recovery Florence would make. But miracles do happen. And Karen Branner, her new owner, can't get enough of her.
The best thing ever was seeing her run for the first time. It was just heartwarming, it really was. I never ever expected her to be able to do that. It just made me feel so happy that despite her terrible injuries and her appalling life, that she could pull herself through it and live like a normal dog.
After Karen heard Florence's tragic story, she knew she could give her the love she deserved. It's early Monday morning and Hershey is on her way to investigate a number of calls, all received about the same very skinny dog.
Hello?
The owners won't let the crew in and our cameras have to stay outside. The dog is called Duke, and as soon as Hershey sees him, she knows she was right to be concerned. But the owner claims Duke's been going to the vets for treatment.
Did they ask to see the dog back?
But Hershey suspects the man's story isn't true.
I'm not happy with the condition of the dog. He's extremely emaciated, and also he's got an extensive amount of fur loss. I'm going to take the dog to a vet because I feel that you may have committed an offence in failing to provide the dog with the necessary treatment that it needs.
And as a frail-looking Duke leaves the house, it's clear to see why the owners didn't want our cameras inside. He looks like a dog in his final years, but shockingly, he's only 14 months old.
Duke is supposed to be a Labrador, but obviously he's just extremely thin. Very, very, very underweight. And I'm not really satisfied, come on darling, with the explanation. You see, I shouldn't be able to, I'm only little and I shouldn't be able to pick up a Labrador sized dog. I had a very small amount of dog food in the house. Certainly not enough to feed this dog.
Before Hershey leaves, she wants to check out the owner's story and calls the vet they claim Duke had visited.
14-month-old Labrador called Duke, extremely emaciated and also extensive fur loss. The owners are claiming that they've been to the surgery 2 months ago. I've asked whether or not they were asked to come back after that period and they're saying no.
And she's made a disturbing discovery.
They've got no details at all of this dog or that owner or that property. They'll tell you anything when they're kind of in a corner.
Duke needs urgent medical attention, so Hershey takes him to nearby Manor Vets.
See what she thinks, really. All those bits on his back, they're all parts of his skin. He's got some scabs here on his spine. You know, there's just absolutely no weight on that dog at all. Right, come on, Duke. Hi. Hi, Pam.
Looking at this dog straight away, you can tell there's a problem. What I would like to do is offer him some food and see how he reacts.
Yeah. When you watch the dog eat, it tells you how hungry it is.
Sit. Do you sit? Good boy. Well done. There we go.
Wow.
And poor Duke couldn't express himself any clearer.
I think that kind of says it, really.
Yeah, it explains quite a lot. At the moment, it's just pure starvation.
It's just been failed completely by the owner. And it's just really sad.
He was ravenous, he gulped down the food in a matter of seconds, and that's abnormal behaviour.
Young male Labradors should weigh between 25 and 37 kilos, but what about Duke?
His weight at the moment is 14.1 kilos. He should be at least double that, if not more.
Duke is half the weight he should be, and if Hershey hadn't found him, he could have collapsed in days.
How long does it take for a dog to get to this state?
Weeks, months to get to this stage. It hasn't happened overnight.
You can just see, I can literally put my whole hand around his waist. That's shocking, that is.
Not only is Duke worryingly underweight, but his skin is a cause for concern too.
It's quite clear that he is suffering at the moment in relation to his skin, and he shouldn't be in this condition. I suspect he may have mites on his skin. So what we need to do is do some skin scrapes to find out. He's going to need some antibiotics and treatment if the mites are present. It's all pointing towards neglect and starvation.
Duke's owners have possibly violated the Animal Welfare Act. Hershey calls the police so that they can seize the dog and place him in the hands of the RSPCA until the case is resolved.
I just require yourselves to seize the dog and do a statement so that I can keep it in the RSPCA's care for further treatment.
He's now going to get all the rest and recovery he needs, and Hershey will follow up his case for a possible prosecution.
I'll seek to interview the owners and see if they'll sign the dog over. Once he's fit and healthy enough, we can then find a good home for him. They couldn't manage, they should have contacted somebody for help, and that's what makes me really angry.
But he's steadily transforming into a lovely Labrador here at Newbrook Animal Centre in Birmingham, under the watchful eye of care assistant Jake.
Duke's an absolute cracker and he's doing well here. He's recovering well from some of the problems that he had.
Reports come in about a little dog left in a lot of mess. No one seems to be home, and although Graham can't see the dog, he can see what it's left behind.
The floor is absolutely covered with faeces, dog faeces and empty dog food tins.
Now he just needs to find a dog.
Oh, there she is. I think there's two little Shih Tzu Lhasa Apso type dogs. I'm a little bit concerned because the door's locked, but the key's still in. So that's obviously been locked from the inside. If it's the same situation in the back, then nobody can actually get in. So it indicates that there may be somebody inside already.
Graham hopes he will have some more luck around the back, and he does.
Hello?
The back door is open, but nobody's home. The RSPCA have no power of entry. Worried the dogs may be starving to death, Graham has to draft in some expert help.
The conditions are totally unacceptable. It's horrendous in there, and I'm going to be taking advice from a vet and the local police and see if we can get those dogs out as quickly as possible. We're just waiting for the police to come so we can get in. We can get
Local vet Tom Eddy arrives within minutes.
Oh my.
Yes.
That's not great, is it?
The whole house looked to be in quite a bit of a state, which kind of made me wonder what sort of condition the dogs were in, and if there was any neglect there. I kind of want to get inside.
Graham has called the police to legally gain access to the property.
Wait.
And once inside, it's obvious the owner wasn't expecting visitors.
Right.
Hey? Bit of a mess, isn't it?
And in the dark, amid the dog mess and empty dog food tins, Graham eventually finds two very dirty but delighted Shih Tzus. After 2 decades as an inspector, Graham has seen and smelt almost everything, but it still shocked him how people can live.
Well, the floor's absolutely covered here. The sofas are littered with it. I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess when this place was last cleaned out. It's just an overpowering smell of urine and faeces. It's not just dirt, it is pure, dog waste.
There are no clues as to where the owner might be, and neither dog is wearing a name tag or collar. For Graham, this is one of the most extreme cases he's ever seen.
It's one of the worst, certainly in my top 5.
Really?
It's a job for grand designs, I think. Something or other.
DIY,
Yeah, God, aye. You whole little one, you're cute, you are. You do stink. What surprised me is that there is somebody still living in here. That there's no excuse for this. This is not a clean, comfortable environment for a dog to live in.
Lay down.
Coco.
Oh, is that you?
I think that's Coco. See, it's got to see it in the Geordie accent, you see.
Much to the delight of Coco.
Hello, Coco.
With the vet, the police and Graham in agreement, Coco and her filthy friend can now be removed.
It's pretty much unfit for a human to live there, let alone a couple of dogs.
Go on, Adela.
We definitely had to take them out of the house today.
Details are left for the owner explaining why their dogs have been taken and where they are being held. Coco and her friend have now been renamed, so meet Tommy and Bella. After being given a clean bill of health, they were taken to Radcliffe Animal Centre. And Chloe, a very experienced pooch pamperer, is their stylist.
So we're going to start off slow because they're rescues. We don't know how they're going to react to everything. Don't know if they've been bathed before, you know, so or been near a shower or anything like that. So we do have to start quite slow with them. Well, she seems to be quite enjoying it, bless her.
Clean and pristine, it's time for a trim.
Her coat did feel quite dirty. It won't now. That's one of the reasons why we do bath them before we start clipping. It wouldn't clip as nice.
Hopefully the grooming will work, and in the next few weeks, both Tommy and Bella can find new homes. Today, Hershey is in Birmingham, following up on a case of suspected neglect. But so far, no one has been able to get to the bottom of the call.
It's basically a dog in one of the flats, and it's supposed to have really bad fur loss over its body. The flat that the dog's meant to be at. They're not replying, so I'm just trying a different one. We can sometimes have a bit of a problem accessing it. Hi, it's the RSPCA. Can you let me into the building, please?
Hershey's persistence has paid off. RSPCA inspectors are no strangers to closed doors.
The door's open.
But even an open door doesn't give them the right to go in.
Hello? I'm not happy when the door's open. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, like, God, you scared me then with your door open, darling. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
From the RSPCA, I've had a
Yeah.
call about a dog,
Okay.
saying it's got a bit of a problem with its fur.
Yeah, I've taken it to the vets now.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it all right if I have a quick look at
Yeah,
her, sweetie? Okay. Is she friendly?
Yeah, she's friendly. Clara.
The conditions inside are atrocious. But that's not all she finds. There's a starving English bull terrier living in her own excrement. And this dog is so hungry that she tries to eat it.
Stop it. We can't have her eating her own mess.
This case of neglect is so serious, she needs to document the evidence.
Okay, so I'm just taking some video of where the dog is living.
Bull terriers are a strong and powerful breed, but this poor dog, sat on a urine-soaked blanket, looks almost lifeless.
Clara is very disinterested in me.
Clara's clearly suffering, and her living conditions are absolutely filthy, with no food or fresh drinking water.
Bucket, which is full of some very black substance. I'm just going to caution you. I have to do that, okay?
The owner won't sign Clara over to the RSPCA, but has agreed to let Hershey take her to the vet. But even without an expert's opinion, the dog has far more serious problems than fur loss.
Clara's a white English bull. Well, she's meant to be white. Horrendous skin. She's just got a lot of problems with this poor dog.
In well over 10 years as an inspector, Hershey has seen many shocking things, But today is a new low.
Oh God, that nail's actually completely dug into her pad there, look. That's actually gone in. Oh God, both of her nails, look at that. Look at that. I haven't seen nails that bad in 13 years, kind of to that extent. She'd be in quite a lot of discomfort walking.
This dog is clearly starving.
She's just looking for food. She's so hungry, but she probably can smell some food in my van. All right, darling, I know. This dog will be dead in a small matter of time.
Jobs like this are never easy for inspectors, and this case has really got under Hershey's skin.
I'm absolutely furious. It's just so upsetting. She's just in a horrendous state. It couldn't be any worse for this dog, really. It's living in a filthy environment. It's got multiple problems. It's thin, it's got bad skin, it's got bad eyes, it's got bad nails. It had no food, it had no water. She ran into the toilet to drink water out of the toilet when we were in there. She actually defecated in the room and then she tried to eat it. I just don't understand it. I don't know how you can live with yourself, really.
Clara's life is hanging in the balance, and she needs urgent medical attention. Without medical attention, dogs in such bad condition can die. So it's a good thing vet Mark Barton is on standby.
Body condition is 1 out of 9. The bottom end, 1 is emaciated, 9 is morbidly obese. Most dogs should be about a 3 or a 4. She's about a 1. Her body weight is 13 kilograms. She should be 20-25 kilograms.
Clara is dangerously underweight. In fact, a dog her age should weigh twice as much.
Well, it shows that she eats.
Yes,
she's given food.
Yeah.
She's eating that as quick as she can. That's actually quite sad, really, because there isn't an animal on the planet that doesn't need food and water. It's not hard.
She's a dog that's clearly incredibly thirsty, and she's just sat constantly drinking at that bowl. We've got to be a little bit careful we don't make her sick by just making her guzzling too much water too quickly. Where the nails going round into her pad on both sides. This owner clearly hasn't ever had this dog's nails clipped.
Is that effectively that nail's going round and it's now stabbing her?
Yeah, it's going round and stabbing straight through her pad. Yeah.
It's no wonder that Clara has been struggling to walk, but her problems don't end there.
Her skin is in fairly dreadful condition. She's fairly greasy, fairly dirty. Her ears have got marked infection. She's got a problem which looks like dry eye, which we'll need to confirm.
What would you say that she was in a suffering state? Yeah.
She's suffering from all those aspects, from her weight to her skin condition, to her nails, to her eyes.
So
multiple reasons.
With Mark confirming that Clara's been suffering unnecessarily, she'll never have to go back to her life of hell.
There's so many levels this dog could have had a long, slow, lingering death without intervention.
This part of the job is the hardest for us. For any inspector that removes an animal, they always in the back of the mind they're looking at the potential rehoming aspect of that animal. Because that's our end, that's what we want to do with everything that we remove. And I think what breaks my heart is the fact that I look at that dog and think, I'm a bit too late, really.
Tonight, she'll be safe here, but her life very much hangs in the balance. Even in just a couple of days, in the right hands, the difference is huge.
Hey, Clara. Oh, darling, you look a bit brighter, don't you? Hey. That's where the nail was digging into her foot. So, that bit there. That's better.
But because of the constant abuse Clara suffered at the hands of her owner, she may never make a full recovery.
I just want to make her comfortable now. I want her to be comfortable. Let her be warm, not hungry, not thirsty. Let her lie on a nice soft bed. Let her just have a bit of comfort, because clearly she's not had that for a very long time.
But sadly, the severe neglect she endured for far too long took too much of a toll on her body. And the vet made the very tough decision to put her to sleep. At least her last moments were spent in a caring, warm environment where she was well looked after.